Welcome to The Dentist Show. Let's jump right in.
Well, welcome to another episode of The Dentist Show. The Dentist Show. Here we are. Round, I don't even know what episode. It's like 108. We wish. Or 7. Well, technically, it's like 24.
Yeah, we recorded a handful and
Not just a handful, but it was like 17.
like 4 handfuls
and almost 4 handfuls.
almost 4 handfuls.
If you work in a factory.
Yeah, you had an accident at work.
But those 17 you'll never see. And we've had like 6 or so down.
Yeah.
So those are 7. So if you're still with us, why?
Yeah. Maybe we'll have a bloopers reel come out.
Thursdays. Isn't that the whole episode?
Once we get enough followers, we can release it. It's like when COVID hits, like Donald Trump's like, release the Tiger King. Like you got to distract him.
Release the Kennedy.
Yeah.
True. Oh, the Tiger King.
Actually, speaking of finger injuries, right? I have a brother-in-law, step-brother-in-law, that got his hand stuck in like a little meat grinder thing and like lost like 3 fingers, and he's like 10 years younger than me.
Oh,
And he's
dentist.
yeah, he's not a dentist. He works in agricultural plumbing parts, so like irrigation systems and stuff like that.
Right. And you did it at home or?
No, he did it at work.
Oh,
It's like they were doing something in the back. I think it was like a team building activity or something, and they happened to be like
team building.
dude, I grew up in a small area. Like someone kills a deer, we're gonna straight up some meat.
Yeah, team building.
Team building at work.
And he lost fingers.
Yeah.
Oh,
I actually don't know all the details. Like I say, his stepbrother, but the funny is it's a shooting hand. So he like holds his gun with like one finger and one
knob.
Yeah, nub. Well, anyway, so actually, all jokes aside, if you were here with your 2 hands and he was here with his 2 hands, that's how many episodes we produced.
There you go. It was like 17th, and they stretched for almost like 10 months.
Yeah.
And they said, all right, let's actually do this.
Yeah,
We need to have some stuff to say.
This is the restart.
Let me start. And we're already 6 or 7 episodes down. So
Yeah.
talk back at it.
I was just about your sweater here.
Oh my God. The Suns, they had a great season so far. 7-1.
Yeah.
Look, they have I think one of the highest paid teams in the NBA.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
For the deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
They went all in last year and they were terrible. So not terrible, but this year it's the problem is
Preseason.
Booker, Durant, not Booker, but Durant is old, Bill's old.
Yeah.
So you get hurt.
How old is Durant?
He's upper 30s.
Oh,
30s. I think he's 2 years younger than LeBron. So
Yeah.
it's like 37, 38. But they get injured and then
yeah. It's like if you and I get injured, we're down.
I mean,
It's like the same, right? Like professional athlete level versus
or
whatever.
yeah. That's good. Well, yeah. What's one topic we discuss is like, what makes them so valuable? You know,
Yeah.
like a $50 million athlete, they make $50 million a year as employee wages. So it kind of
Yeah.
sucks. They do have to pay all tax on that.
Oh, right.
And
It's already 2 for that.
that week too. So they pay,
That's a lot of tax.
yeah, anything over like $400,000. It's almost like for the Arizona player, that's almost 40% tax.
Yeah, I was gonna say because you got your federal tax
Mhm.
plus your
9%, Arizona 8%. Well, no, sorry, Arizona's like 2%.
2.5%.
The federal was 37%.
Yeah. So 40%. Let's
40%. It's crazy. So what makes them so valuable versus then if you look at like the dentist?
Yeah.
Because I know dentists to make a couple million, 10 million a year. So what makes them different from the dentists that are only making 100,000 a year or 80,000 a year?
Yeah, if you and I haven't done this recently, but if you Google like average dentist wage, it comes out to like 150 to 200,000.
Yeah, it's
or
like
something like that.
187
Yeah.
if you're an employee, or 220 if you're.
Yeah, if you're a business already.
But they're all skewed. So I don't know many business owners that make less than 220.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think most of the business owners exercise the tax advantages that come with it, be a business owner, and therefore their income
Yeah.
is less, but they still have
Well, I know, and it's also how they come up with those numbers is based on W-2 numbers. And
yeah.
so as an employee of your own practice, you typically pay yourself a standard dental fee, let's say 150,000.
Yeah.
And I think the X is actually distributions of K1 or distribution.
Right.
So
So
it's
not
counted differently than a
yeah.
W2 income.
makes sense.
So I think that's why most dentists probably make closer to 300,000 as business owners than
Yeah.
only the W2 reporting from 180.
Yeah. So I would make 10 million as dentists.
To me, yeah. So why is there a guy that makes 10 million a year versus guys making 200,000 a year? They're both dentists.
Yeah.
Like when I think same thing in the NBA, you have the guys making 50 million, but you also have the guys, and actually most make the legal minimum, which is like 700,000 now a year.
Yeah. That's a huge difference when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like 300,000 to 10 million, big difference.
Yeah.
700,000 to 50 million, way bigger difference. Like, why do you walk on the court? Like,
And that's just their wages as a player.
that doesn't include their endorsements.
Like LeBron gets paid maybe 50. He's in the 50 million club, and then he gets 100 million from his endorsements and his Chinese shoes and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
don't bring that up. But his shoes deal.
Yeah, we don't need to get political. We're not talking about the Wuhan.
We don't need Chinese after our podcast. No, like, we're good. We're
Yeah.
just
Don't take my social security number. I got it.
yeah. Actually, someone actually did get access my credit score yesterday.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
You caught me.
Yeah. Yeah. This word because a lot of my team members know more my numbers than I know myself. I always text them like, hey, what's our tax ID? Hey, what's our NPI?
Yeah.
And it's like rattle off the head. I'm like, hey, what's my social? Rattle off their head. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's like on a laminated sheet.
Everyone has my number.
Your birthday, your address, your.
Well, what happens, I have all my credit always locked, so you can't access it without they text me.
Yeah.
And had it unlocked because we were doing another deal and I forgot to block it. And then not like a week later, somebody hits it like,
Yeah.
this Westwood Financial wants to know your credit. I'm like, who's that?
Yeah.
You know, it's found out hacked. I just figured it. Anyways, but I don't know how we went there. This is one of those tangents. But 150 million.
Tangent alert.
Tangent alert attraction. So 50 million to 700 or 100,000 to 10 million is still a big difference.
Yeah.
And what makes them so valuable has always been in the back of my mind. Like goals, like most dentists now, it seems like that I know, like they all want to make $1 million net. It's like that number.
That's a sexy number. That's the number that like will make them feel good about what they've done.
Yeah. And then you need someone to do 10 million. And you're like, wait, what? Yeah, that's possible. It's possible. Like this, I think in the last 5 years, dentists have believed that $1 million is achievable.
Yeah.
And then, but it's also a stretch for a lot of guys. And then they're like, what about 10 million? You're like, no way.
Yeah. And somebody else one. And then some guys doing it.
Some guys doing it. Yeah. So what makes the difference? What do you say? Because you don't know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You don't know the other guys that making 2 million plus. What do you think is the difference between the guy making 10 million to making 200,000?
Yeah. I mean, just if I go to like initially where do I logically go, it's a lot of us dentists have a hard time teaching and leveraging the hands of other people.
Yeah.
Right. And so I care the most. The best dentist because it's in my hands. I can control it, make sure it's done right and the way I like it done. And there's probably plenty of great dentists out there who can also do good work, but if it's not in my hands, I'm not controlling it, right? So that's where you limit yourself a little bit. It's like if you're doing all the drilling, the filling, the billing, all that, you're limited. So in my mind, to get to 10 million, it's learning how to grow your business and your team with the help and the hands of others.
Yeah. I think the number one, if we condense them into 3 categories or 3 things you can do to make $10 million.
Yeah.
That would be at the top. Like you have to learn to delegate or reproduce yourself.
Yeah.
Or like it'd be really easy if you did $1 million veneers and you did that times 20, 50% overhead, now it'd be $10 million. Yeah. You're not going to be that. So
yeah. Well, the thing is like, if you can learn to run a highly successful veneer practice, you can make $1 million a year yourself.
Oh, so just fine. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you want to get to 10 million, you need to get 10 doctors doing that. Right.
Yeah.
And so how do you do that? Right.
Yeah.
And then compensate them well while
yeah, because otherwise they just leave and go do their own show.
Especially more themselves. Why would they stay with you?
Especially with social media, you just follow them around.
Yeah.
But that'd be one is to learn to delegate is such a key. That and that's what I would say which is kind of the opposite of the basketball players because they're keen. But that's one thing I'd say all the guys I've met are super successful are delegators, or they can reproduce themselves. They can say like, what is my unique ability and how can I like reproduce that with somebody else?
Reproduce and lead someone into that same level. And I think you're right. Like basketball players are an anomaly to that in general because LeBron is LeBron.
Yeah.
Right. And LeBron can teach his teammates to be better players so that they can win the game. But unless those teammates become as good as LeBron, like even if those teammates become as good as LeBron, LeBron doesn't make more money.
Right.
That teammate makes money, right? Because they're like individual entities. Whereas actually in medical professionals in general, that's actually the limiting factor for most of us. Is you think about a chiropractor. Well, a chiropractor can only be in the room with one patient at a time, essentially, until he or she can hire more chiropractors. They're limited to those 15 minutes time slots. Same with psychology or counseling, right? They figure out what their billable hour rate is, and then they're stuck to that amount. The only way to make more money is to raise your hourly rate or expand,
delegate. Yeah, I think that's for sure number one. Number two would be anyone that I know that makes 2 to 2 million, and that's like their own profit, not gross revenues. They have to take some risks, and I'm actually very conservative. And so I won't typically buy another practice until I know, like, if I buy another practice, if crap hits the fan, where the other practices actually pay that loan back,
right?
Like, do I have ways to compensate if things will go wrong? Things go wrong. Am I have ways to like compensate everybody and keep the loan payments going?
Right.
That's when I feel ready to go. But most stands would probably look at me and say, like over $10 million in debt. You're like crazy, you're risky and stuff like that. And I look at them like, no, dude, you don't know me. I'm super conservative when it comes to debt.
Well, and debt, I think we both know this. Chase here is more risk averse in so many ways, and you're a better planner. I'm like, hit it, let's go, right? Like, so I don't even think about risk, and sometimes that's a pro, sometimes it's con, right? But in general, I think, debt is looked at, especially in this country, as such a burden by the average person. And if we can change the thought process about if someone's willing to give me free money or cheap money, where our business can pay for that, why would we spend our own money when we can spend the bank's money, right? And to an extent, right? Because we got to be able to cover the loan, right? And you got to be able to make sure that we're not over leveraged, so that when COVID hits, or when a natural disaster hits, or when the economy takes a dip and it's hard for our patients, right, that we can still cover.
And I thought specifically about loans, that was maybe a risky thing that a lot of dentists don't do. But even the ones that are single providers, and obviously $10 million a year is not going to be most people's goal. But say you want to produce more, the ones that are able to is because they take risks on either CE, like, hey, I really want to get good at implants, so let me go take a risk. And the risk is I got to go drop down 10 grand. Or worse. And then 10 grand of implants and machine and all that. So I'm in 15, 20 grand. And the risk is you're not getting that back.
Right.
Or a root canal if you want to increase your skill sets. Like, I need to learn how to do root canals just as well as my specialist. So I'm going to go invest in CE, the equipment, and invest the time in my team. So that's all on the same point. It's just as risky as going to take another debt out. Is you're hoping that I'm going to take this capital of my time or money and reinvest it in this course, this equipment, and I hope it pays off. So that's the dentist that even the high producers, those guys who they take a little risk there to get to that point. So anyone that I found that's successful kind of gets out of their comfort zone at some point and pushes it to go to the next level.
Like that reinvestment of time, money, efforts, right? and the risk that's associated with that,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Actually, most of us dentists, I would say a good portion of us, the reason we are able to be in the career field that we are in is because we are able to delay gratification for so long.
Right.
And so that's why we earn as much as we do. $150,000 or more is a great earning. And most Americans don't get anywhere near that.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's why we get paid that on a lower level, if you will, because we delayed that gratification.
Yeah. And so it was a risk to go.
Yes, to the rest of you go to hospital because you don't know what it's going to be like in 8 years.
Yeah. Well, when we graduated, we thought 150, and 150,000 is not enough when your debt's 500,000.
Right. Yes.
So you took that risk thinking that it's going to be worth it. So actually, a lot of dentists, especially you and I, grads, like we are all so risk adverse. We're dentists. We're kind of scaring to half.
Yeah.
But also at the same point, no, we all are very risky because we spent 8 years of our life, 250,000, 500,000, $750,000.
Yeah, depending on where you go.
On student loans to be able to make a good income, good living. So I think all dentists are asking have more risk they're able to take and they really give themselves credit for.
Yeah. And maybe there's the thought too is like you took all this time, this risk and invested it, and now you have more to lose in a sense, right? And if you have more to lose, then maybe in your mind the risk is greater.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like being able to delay gratification, take the risk, and whether it's loans or in reinvesting your time, those two things, and then take the risk of delegating. Yeah, it is all risk associated.
Yeah, for sure. I think, and having the ability to treat a team, and I'll be like the leading to the third thing I kind of see when I'm looking at these guys that make as much money as they do.
Yeah,
they rarely can do it by themselves, so they've created a culture, and this is what we've had this conversation yesterday that sometimes I struggle with is we have worked so hard to create a culture of a family. We care for each other. We're able to have authentic conversations. We're bold enough to talk and communicate. We create those inner smiles. We focus on experiences first.
Yep.
Like we do all these things, and then it's like awesome. And how do we reproduce? How do we produce? Like how do we push the team to like?
How do we take that to action?
Yeah. Because we're not only are we delegating, which we do a good job at, and we create an atmosphere and culture that's we really like. And now it's where I struggle and most of our team struggles. Okay, now how do we get the dentists that also produce and help us get to those bigger numbers as we're helping the dentists hit their financial goals too? Something that I found, those that make 10 million a year, they are able to find those people that are driven to help drive that revenue so they can make that much money. So
they've ever created an environment or space where the level of acceptance or the agreement is like, you will be a producer and I'll help you get there and find out how to work, or they only bring in high quality team members that produce, right? And how do they attract them?
Yeah, that's the question. That's what we're working on right now. I think this year we'll be around 23 million in revenues if we don't add any more offices, which we will. So it's like, okay, but if we're talking about case acceptance, like our average office does about 30% of cash treatment acceptance. And so if you just increase that to 60 or go 70, so would that make our offices do like 40 million? Like if everybody just doubled, not diagnosing more, not bringing new patients in,
just giving the patients to accept the treatment.
Yeah, and I think almost all of our dentists are very on the conservative side where they're not going to be proactive, crowning everything or doing anything that don't need to be done. So it's like treatment really needs to get done. If they just double the case acceptance, that would be like one in the office couldn't handle it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think like if we were to try to double our Arizona, like our Chandler location or
it'd be 10 million.
10. And then where do we put all those people?
Like
it's the same people, but they're just coming in more.
Yeah, they're getting their work done. Yeah, like we see because we have 6 hygiene there, so we're 50 something hygiene visits a day. So that'd be like then you have the same amount of dental visits. Yeah, just be new wild.
Yeah. But, and that's one of the things we're working for. And actually that's one of the things that you get to watch us learn.
Struggle
as we go through this and struggle because we have I think we've got some of the best culture implementation. We give warm hugs, if you will, to everyone that works with us in the sense that they feel good about who and
You're a little more handsy than
I meant more a hug of how it feels to work.
okay.
I don't hug every team member.
Let's just do
I only hug you, don't worry.
I need to go handsy down the low.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be quick. Watch out. It's that bro hug move because it gets a little Philly down below. I do have nice rear end, but
He does.
he's
Yeah.
front kill.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we have been really good at culture. We have been good at delegating, and now it's to the point where now we're like, how can we instill like confidence in our treatment coordinators, have to deal with their dentists to help them reach their goals? Yeah, like really 150,000 really is not enough to live on when you're paying student debt. And with like, I have hygienists that make 120, 130,000.
I know. You think you went to 4 more years of school
Or
and
5
or
sometimes.
5. Yeah.
Depends how the school went.
Yeah. And to just,
The debt load. Yeah. The awful, I know we talked about this. Where I was in the lab one day where we had finals. So like your finals, and then we had clinical finals. And I was so stressed. And I was like, I am never going to feel bad. Because I thought $500 was a lot.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm never going to feel bad if I charge $500 for a crown.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm never going to feel bad.
yeah, you'll
This
never
is
charge
the
less
worst-
than 500.
This is the worst experience that anyone can have. I mean, in school that you can have. Like any attorney is not going to be, like any medical doctors does not do that.
Yeah.
Or you have like your biology exam, chemistry exams, all your exams, and you're trying to work on your stupid hand skills.
Yeah, you got like lab hand skills on top of lab. Like, I'm never going to do this again, but because I'm
Yeah, photosynthesis.
Yeah.
Like, why am I learning about the muscles in the toes right now?
yeah,
Like, and I got to learn how to cut a crown or do a filling upside down. With the
yeah, with a mirror and upside down and backwards. Like,
it keeps getting dust on it. So like, like it was the worst. I just remember that first year going, it can't be worse than this. And so I'm never going to regret. I'm never going to feel bad how much money I made because very few people go through what we do to become who we are.
yeah,
And so really, guys, if you're making 150,000, like just come work for us because we can help you get 250.
yeah. We'll like we can almost rectify that in.
Yeah. We'll help.
Yeah, we
No problem. And if you're a business owner making that much, it's also a big problem because now you're not only did you go swooning, but now you went in to take the risk.
Yeah.
So if you're only doing $1 million in revenue, so you're making 300,000, that's pretty good. And you can make so much more with not any more effort.
Yeah.
Like just zero on some systems, zero in on some things that will like. Because we don't have an office that does less than 1.5 million, and they're all associate ran.
Yeah.
So our associates can do that, and we do have some amazing associates. But as the owner comes in, that usually increases those revenues by a lot because they're willing to have those conversations with team members.
The care goes a little bit more. Not care, but the investment of mental.
Yeah, they're all in.
They're all in. Yeah.
Like associates are all in too, and they sometimes don't want to deal with the team, and so they do.
Or they don't feel like they can because they're.
Yeah, they say I'm just an employee too,
Yeah.
but in reality, they are our main leaders in our offices. But
Yeah.
so those are the 3 things. You want to make 10 million? That's easy. 3 little things.
just do those 3
Delegate,
things.
take some risks, and invent your culture,
Yeah.
and invent or make producers. That's it. That's it. 10 million. That's easy.
Anybody can do it.
Yeah, I mean, you make 10 million a year.
Of course. Like I'm just I actually have a stack of cash behind this chair.
Because lost out the briefcase.
Yeah. I am not making 10 million.
Let's see. If Washington does do 7, 8 million in revenue, though. Yeah. So that's not bad. So imagine making 10 million.
Yeah.
That's your take home. You're paying taxes on 10 million. So you take home like 6 million.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible. Sounds awful. Sounds like
and actually I would like to make a caveat. It sounds like we're talking about like money is the reason to do it all. It's more like if you're gonna go through the work, the risk and the liability that comes with dentistry, you might as well get compensated.
Yeah, like I said, if I got off the phone, someone was making dude 1.2 and he graduated with me and I was like, dude, like we doing, man. Like
We can help.
Just go like 1.5.
And then you get to take home that 300,000.
Yeah, and you can like
or
not like money
200,000
brings the happiness, but you can also like I don't know. You don't have to be stressed about money.
Yeah.
Like making 1.2, you're making 300,000. That's good. And if it wouldn't take any more effort to go 1.5, why not?
Yeah, minimal effort.
Yeah. Just choose a few things. 'Cause that's not even that much more a month to produce.
Yeah.
Just some systems. So anyways, those three things. So maybe not 10 million, but we think all that should make $1 million if you really want to.
Yeah. And we can help
everybody.
And as we figure out how to make the 10 million, we'll stay tuned. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. It will help you as we are learning our mistakes. Hopefully we are someday confident to share our big mistakes we've made.
Yeah.
And so you can learn from them and hear our successes, because we have both.
Yeah. I don't know if it's confidence. It's just lack of embarrassment.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's confidence, like, we don't care what people think.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Whereas right now, it's like, we want people to like me.
Yeah. I really want people to like me. You got me.
I'm old enough. I look old enough. I probably shouldn't care, but I still do, honestly. Yeah. We're like, I'm a people pleaser. So,
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, another episode down. I don't know if you guys made it, but
Yeah.
if not, oh well.
Okay. Well,
It's another.
if you are making 10 million already, though, please reach out to us.
Yeah, I can see if I can start
Talk
talking
to
to
us.
us. I could see some little doubts, but
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to say his name.
That's okay. Don't say his name. If he chooses to come on the podcast,
How did he make $10 million?
yeah, we'll start out with that. That'll be like surprise.
Yeah. If you thought we were going to keep this secret, but no. Well, I hope you enjoyed this interview or this podcast. This is who we are, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Awesome. And if you like to go down to the comments below, asking a question specifically, please let us know. And go check us out on the internet.
Yes, it's not Spotify or YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. We put all these cameras up just for YouTube and Spotify. So hopefully you can watch us. You see that we're both overweight. I have a nicer beard. He has a nicer head of hair.
Yeah, mine's like just grows it all trashy like this.
But we are losing weight. Well, I am getting stronger.
We have a belief to lose weight.
I'm getting stronger.
Yeah, I saw him benching some big weights today.
I'm not losing weight, but I'm getting stronger. Right. So join us. So if you watch us on video, you'll see our faces slim.
Yeah. And if we don't slim up throughout the episodes, let us know in the comments as well.
But like, hey, we're one of you.
Yeah, we're one of you guys.
Okay, until next time. Thanks,
Awesome.
guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening to The Dentist Show. We hope that this episode helped you make smiles about more than teeth. To get more resources to grow as a dentist and to learn more about Chase and Ryan, go to thedentistshow.com or just follow the link in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, share with another dentist in your life and help us grow the movement. And be sure to rate and review wherever you're listening.